Hello, and welcome back to the Sofa of Space with me, Adam and Mike.
Hey, and that's Ensign Mike to you.
Ensign Mike and Captain Adam. But yes, we have a rescue mission to do. We've got to go and rescue Valentina and the other Kerbals.
The check cleared, we're ready to go.
Well, they are very much waiting. Here we go, quick visit, make sure they're still there. Yeah, they're all screaming. They look quite happy, to be fair.
Count the numbers just so we get the seating right.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Have to make sure we do have enough seats. There we go. Look at
Lovely shot.
How alone they are. Right, back to the space centre, and we have a ship to build, a rescue shuttle. I'm going to build it in the space plane hangar simply because, well, if we're going to take off and land, I hope to bring it back to Earth and land in the atmosphere again.
Is it a bit late to say that I was always against moon travel? I mean, why would you want to go to a floating dust ball in orbit?
There's not much there, no. I don't know if you take. I think, and I'm not sure about this. I think in Kerbal, we'll have to take a piece of it and find out exactly what it's made of, because I think it's made of ice cream in Kerbal. I'm not even joking. All of the planets and things are made, and moons are made of weird things.
Can we do our own claymation where instead of going to the moon looking for cheese, we're looking for ice cream?
That would be hilarious. There we go. Got the main section going now, and yes. I've put on an airlock as well because I want to put the fuselages and the fuel on the right and the left, and then it'll hopefully have a nice clean exit out the back.
We hope.
That's the best plan.
But before you put the tube in, I thought I was going to say, welcome to the Sofa of Adam Airlines. We've given up on space travel, it's too expensive.
Yeah, it's true. Well, hopefully we'll fly back into Earth's orbit, and then we'll be able to just land it like a plane. When we get to the moon, we won't be able to, really. I might put some engines on the bottom in the dead centre and line up our thrust and our weight ratio, and then if they're all bang on, which at the moment they are, that's that black and yellow dot in the middle, and then the blue X, the blue line, that's our centre of lift, and then the pink one is our centre of thrust. And as long as they're all in dead straight line when we're flying, you can put an engine on the bottom and you can build a VTOL craft, which means a vertical takeoff and landing, which is what I'm trying to do here. So it will take off like a helicopter. I
was going to say, for the sci-fi layman, a TIE fighter.
Yeah, I suppose it can take off vertically. But the problem, I'm just shuffling it all around here, because the issue that you have is when the fuel tanks empty, they don't all empty evenly. They empty in certain orders, so I've got to fiddle with that before we launch, preferably, because otherwise you'll be in the air and you'll be all balanced, and then after 3 seconds of burning fuel, you'll start to tilt backwards because all the fuel's in the back of the craft. So it takes a bit of trickery. Got some air brakes. Some air brakes. Those will be important. There you go. There's me just checking all the lines and all the weights are in the correct places.
I must admit, those air brakes do look pretty cool.
They are cool. I like the air brakes. It's probably my favourite thing to do, really, because they open up and they do look really smart. Hey, MUN lander. That should be perfect. I won't test it because, again, no tests. It's no fun to see a test. Should build it from scratch and launch it, and if it all goes tits up, then it's all good. But that won't happen this time. I'm 99% sure that won't happen this time because I'm putting more effort in. I didn't circularize and things like that last time, whereas this time I'm going to just put on as many really big engines that are some of my favourite engines, in fact.
Can we call our next rocket the Platinum Gold of Whale Shark?
Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't think of that at the time. That would have been brilliant. The Platinum Gold of Whale Sharks will be the, maybe we'll call that the ship that can go and refuel on the moon. Our first voyage past the moon, we should call that. Some reinforcements now, so that it doesn't wobble itself free like the last one. Not having any of that. None of that. I love this rocket. These rockets are the only things that I use that are modded, really. They are literally the only things, and that's because they're from the KW2 rocketry pack.
The NASA pack.
Kind of, yeah. Well, yeah, they're based on real NASA rockets that he's added in. It was really brilliant though. I think they're genius. They make fantastic noises, but you'll hear that. I would have thought when it takes off, I'll make sure that there's a moment to hear it, because it's a superb sound. I do like the sound effects in the whole of Kerbal. There we go. Solar panels are on the back. Got the boosters. MUN rescue. I nearly called it the Mark 1, but I decided against it because it's not there's not going to be a Mark 2. It's going to work.
There'll always be a Mark 2.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
Just in case you're wondering, those are the makers of the soundtracks in the background that keep popping up. They're the I listed them in the last one, but it's The Darkness by MK2, it's The Jungle, and Fluid Space by Kevin MacLeod? Is it Kevin MacLeod?
Something like that.
Something. It said something. You have to go back 10 seconds. The name's gone now. I think Kevin MacLeod does Grand Designs. I've got the... That's a presenter on British
does
telly.
that theme tune get about?
It really does. Here we go. See, we've managed to burn ourselves into orbit because we've got so much extra fuel. I wanted to make sure that we weren't going to mess up.
You know my disdain for Star Trek Discovery.
Mm.
I wonder, with them taking new bold leaps of like having ships in the right plane, will we ever get to see like an Enterprise burn up on, like an Enterprise coming into land and it's like the dish and that's on fire because of re-entry?
Yeah, that would be cool because there isn't any re-entry stuff, is there?
No.
On any of Star Trek. That's a real shame, actually. No, I'd like to see that. That happens in Voyager, to be fair, actually. They land it.
Yeah,
they land Voyager.
I can't remember them going, oh, look at the
well, it was all
flames of
burnt.
re-entry.
I can't remember if it caught fire. I remember it being all burnt, because then they land it on mush for the rest of the episode, and they spend the rest of the episode trying to take off again. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they did have some. Yeah. Here we go. I've got my burn open. We've basically already got an encounter with the moon. No need to circularise on this one occasion, though I was going to, but it was an immediate encounter.
No, yeah, I was going to say when you got lucky to get connect.
Yeah. Why spit luck in the face?
Yeah.
No, that was the end of that. Luckily, again, huge rockets at this point and quite a bit of fuel, so we should be able to burn ourselves straight out to the moon. You can see it going on in the background there. I'm always staying focused on the moon itself. Immediately I overshot, but that's not important. Turn ourselves round.
Rather overshoot than under.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can always adjust later. So I tend to overshoot, and then when you get a certain way through, you can make an adjustment. Because if you're too early, the smallest tiny adjustment can really ruin it.
I do like that.
That is a nice shot. I try to get as many nice shots as I can now. Peaceful moments to admire the craft and how the game runs. Because they've done, it's a bang up job. It is a superb space game. It's not a game, it's a sim, in my opinion. It really is. It's a simulator. Other than the fact that the Kerbals are immortal, thank God.
I was going to say, if you took away the Kerbals, I envision this being a program in like the training college for like rocket sciences.
It probably could be. It's very, very close. And I play it with all the settings on, if you're curious, I play it with all of the settings on simulation, because I do like to have it as hard as possible. So in that regard, I suppose I have a reason for making more mistakes.
Yeah.
Ah, look at that.
Oh, it looks like the celestial fork.
Yeah. See, the moon is currently way away, but that's going to come round to meet us in a second, because I'm hoping with our further out orbit, you want to come in behind the moon. I think we said this in the last episode, but if the moon's going in an orbit, say clockwise, I can't remember, but going round clockwise, you want to come round behind the moon, clockwise, to get a good circular orbit on the equator. If you try to go the other way, the moon's doing all of, however fast the moon's travelling, it's doing that towards you. So you then have to slow down and all of the speed of the moon to get to zero. Whereas you come in behind it, it's like it's like trying to jump onto something that's falling away from you. You barely,
So
it's like landing a
jumping
feather.
from a car to a truck as it's pulling away.
Yeah, literally as it's moving. Yeah, you want that landing to be as soft and gentle as possible. So,
bye Earth.
Goodbye Earth. No, we're coming back. Ye of little faith. We are coming.
Hello, moon.
Here it is. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, again, we're going to get that nice circularized orbit this time, as planned, because we need to line ourselves up to at least land roughly on top of the moon crash site. I want to get at least close to Valentina. I don't want to land miles away and drive there, because that would be a nightmare. I don't mind driving a couple of kilometres, but I've done it before in other things on my other saves, and it's really dodgy. Oh, look at that. I love that. Look at the ring floating away. I always use the blue disconnectors because they do that.
Is there a difference?
Well, the yellow ones have a higher ejection force, and I don't know why they're colour-coded in the game, but the yellow ones have a higher ejection force, but the blue ones have a ring that separates, and I like that, the fact that you get like a big ring floating in space. It just looks cool.
Not helping with the rubbish scenario.
Not helping with the rubbish. No, really, if this was happening in real life, you should burn your orbit down, drop off anything, and then burn back out, because then anything you've disconnected will drop into the planet or the moon and disintegrate, because you don't want to leave rubbish behind. I don't care, because it'll be more fun later if we have something hurtling towards us. I will laugh, because what are the chances?
And have it crash into some poor man's house.
Yeah. There we go. Now it looks like we're spinning uncontrollably, but we're not. Obviously everything's slightly fast forwarded, so I'm just letting it spin while I'm doing some other things. Also, I'm using very powerful rockets.
I wonder if the stranded team were attacked by Apollo 13 space rock crabs.
Oh, what was that? I don't know. Was it Apollo 13? Is that the film? I can't even remember what that film was called. But yeah, maybe not. I hope not. They were there when we checked. Oh, landing gear. Must not forget.
No.
Lest we forget the landing gear.
No belly flops onto the moon.
Oh, here we go. Okay, we're doing 400 meters per second. Hopefully I'm going to burn. Yeah, burn gently. See, I'm taking manual control rather than following our retrograde, like the mistake we made last time. And I'm doing it myself.
I notice you're using very little thrust.
I am. I'm using tiny amount. But this is so that I can control us a little bit manually and bring us in. Oh, can we see? Yeah, there they are. See, look at that. That's good flying by me. We nearly landed in that crater, but I managed to bring us over here. Now, this is how you do it for efficiency, is you should be burning the whole time, like this.
With real space travel,
they wouldn't land like this.
I was going to say no. But I was going to say, if they were going to land, I mean, would they land in a crater, or would they try and find some, like a...
Honestly, landing in a crater in real life isn't a bad thing, because as long as it's flat, generally you're more precise. If you can plan all of your routes and put it into a computer, then it's a bit easier to do. Whereas on Kerbal, I don't have any mods or anything, or at least I have no knowledge of a way of planning ahead by miles and miles, so I have to do it all on the fly. But in reality, you'd have a very detailed plan, so you'd have burns down to the nanosecond to get you to the exact location you want it to be. So as long as you've got a big square large enough for your ship to land in, you're sound, really. So if that's in a crater or anywhere else, I mean, literally, it was only, I was saying again in the last episode, but it wasn't that long ago that we landed on a comet.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Hey, had to do a bit of driving, but not so bad. Ah, thank God for that. That was a bit risky. I don't like landing that way. I didn't even have to use my VTOL engine on the bottom. Oh. Oh no.
Oh, it's working for nothing.
We weren't fast enough. We weren't fast enough. Send a message. We'll quickly nip over there. Okay, Valentina survives because she's not on board.
No.
Just pop to the tracking station, because I don't know a way of swapping from person to... Oh. Ah, no.
Damn you, gravity.
Yeah, there's a bit of spazzing out in the game because it seems unhappy with how I've parked. There is a way to get rid of it with a mod. It's... Oh, look at that. See, I like these cut-through sections.
Yeah.
Just going to transfer her. But each time we swap character, the vehicles all kind of hop. But because we've got wheels, we bounce even more, because the feet are spring-loaded.
Yep.
Can we see space? No, we can't see anything.
Sort of.
See a tiny slither, but maybe that's all you need to see when you're trapped on the moon. You've probably had enough space. Here we go. I'll just fast forward all this bit a bit heavier as we transfer the survivors. Though everyone did survive. No one died in that explosion. I think it was just a RC tank or something taking its final impact. God, I don't like the way it bounces around when I can't control it and take charge to keep it level. It's awful.
It terrifies me because we've had things bounce and they've just disappeared off into space.
Yeah, and they've landed and just blown up because of the impact. I've killed Kerbals just by jetting them forwards too fast in their spacesuits, and they hit the floor doing 100 meters per second, and they just shatter. They dustify. Hey, goodbye. I think this is the last Kerbal. I think it's the last Kerbal. Hey, aren't they happy? See? Hey,
Have you all
she's
taken
ecstatic.
your travel medication?
Yeah, they're all very happy to go home. Right, we have to point ourselves towards the sun, because when we landed, I made sure to take a note of which direction to go around the moon when you take off. Because if we take off in the same orbit again that we're spinning around the planet, you gain some of that speed for yourself.
Velocity.
Yes, so you are stealing a tiny bit of the gravitational pull of the moon. Because technically, every time you slingshot yourself off the moon in real life or off the Earth, you are stealing a tiny bit of speed from it. You're taking some of that force with you. So technically, it's negligible, if you see what I mean. It makes no difference because the planets are so big. Oh, just tilt that a little bit and burn up. A tiny bit of thrust is needed because obviously there's no atmosphere, so you can orbit the moon a metre off the ground if there's nothing to block your path.
So if we get the Kerbals to slingshot off the sun, can we make them go back in time?
It would be something to try. I wonder how close you could orbit the sun. Oh, that's a base to build, isn't it? And just build a base and then bring it in bit by bit.
Solar panels on one side.
Yeah, we could cover it with heat shields and see if we could get it to the point where it's just on temperature and as close to the sun as it is possible to get. That'd be really cool, actually. That's something for down the line.
Yeah.
Ah, here we go. Some nice shots now of... I'll fast forward this a little bit, but...
Nice shot.
They are beautiful. You really get the scale of the whole thing. See if we can't set up a good orbit now. And here's what I'm doing, which is quite interesting. You might notice, or you might not, but I'm trying to go in the opposite direction to the sun. I don't think I manage it though. The sun? The Earth. Because if you want to slow down, you can always throw yourself in the opposite direction, and that slows you down gradually over thousands of years. But it's again, good for efficiency. It is pretty. Just change it. There we go. There's the bit I was waiting for. The scale of it.
Oh, look at that dust ball float by.
Yeah. Why do you keep... It's not made of dust. You know that, don't you? It is made of rock. Which is a large ball of rock.
Yeah.
It is not a dust ball.
And the only thing anyone sees to talk about is the moon dust.
Oh, yeah. Lots of moon dust, though. Moon dust is cool. Well, I'd like moon dust. I used to have a little... But I genuinely used to have a little packet of it that came in a magazine once. I doubt it was real.
Ah, a Voyager shot.
Ah. I think it's coming back, if you mean when the sun peaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one of those.
Now we need a classical score to inspire hope.
Yeah.
And then we'll have our trailer for our...
It's a very,
space
very
race.
small enterprise.
Yeah.
See, yeah, I totally failed to try and go the opposite way, which
Yeah.
is something I've done a few times, but not this time.
No.
Okay,
As long as we get there, that's the main thing.
Here we go, try and retrograde. Not exactly retrograde, because I've made a plotted course to slow us down. I want to try and skim the atmosphere, because if we come in at the speeds that we're going to be doing, because we're at our p-apsis, so we're at the nearest point of our orbit to the celestial body that we're orbiting.
Yeah.
So we're going to be going pretty damn fast, which is bad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and skim the orbit and take some of the atmosphere, and that should slow us down a little bit, and then we'll come out the other side, hopefully. This is really difficult. This is not something I like to do, but we haven't got parachutes because I forgot. It's my fault. I realised that when we were halfway through. It's like, oh, I haven't put bloody parachutes on. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I need to pay attention for a second.
Your ship is on fire.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't. There we go. See? Beautiful. There we go. Out the other side.
Look at that ozone layer.
Yeah. It's done an excellent job of keeping us alive. That thin band of air is going to slow us down enough, hopefully, to get a nice smooth landing. Thank God for the air brakes, because, you know, again, no parachute, air brakes. Yay! Just as good, but not quite as much force as far as slowing down goes. Just wait until we're out of the atmosphere so I can fast forward again. There we go. Because we're now going to become a plane again, is the plan.
Okay.
I know, right? It was very, very quick, but we did.
You've captured a lot of shots where the sun's just nicely
Peeking
behind.
round, yeah, no, I like those. I like trying to get the pretty screenshots because it makes me feel like there's more to see. Plus, if you're going to watch a video like this, you want some visual stimulation as well as some audio. And it goes well with the music, I think. These beautiful long shots. I mean, they take, what, 2.5 hours to record? So, you know, it's nice to have something to take pictures of. And that's not good.
No.
Okay, we're out of fuel. That's the end of that. We're now... Oh, we might be alright. Ah, no. Okay, we're burning. We're burning, but we're not going to catch fire by the looks of it, because we're so small that the surface area isn't enough to really take the heat, so... Okay, it looks like we're spinning manically, but I've gone manual and I can sort of take control of it and hold us level, but there's no need. We'll just tumble into the atmosphere for now. Luckily, the Kerbals can't die from inertia and G-force.
Or lack of food and water.
Yeah, they don't need food and water. Like you say, there was moon dust. I hate landing at night. I was really hoping we get to land in the day, but when we were coming round, didn't have enough to circularise.
You should have put lights on it.
Okay, I was really hoping we'd flip round when I put the air brakes on, and we haven't. That's probably quite bad.
We're gonna die?
This is quite serious, actually. We're doing 160 metres per second.
Oh! Ow!
Oh! They survived. Whee! Oh, thank God. Oh,
Luton
Jesus, that would have been embarrassing.
Luton Airport would like to apologise once again due to an unscheduled arrival.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, they survived. Well, in the next episode, we'll have to send a Kerbal then to go and get them. We'll make a little airship to pick them up and bring them back. So
Or Final Fantasy style.
yeah, that'll be great. So in the next episode, yeah, we'll be doing an on-Earth, an on-planet mission. So thank you very much for joining us this time for another crash landing, though successful, and we will see you all in the next episode of Kerbal Space Program. Bye!
Bye!